Hello, everyone. Welcome into Deacon's NFL Talk. I'm your host, Deacon, and welcome back to another episode on the channel. This week, we don't really have much NFL news to talk about, as you can probably tell. Since the season is officially over, there's really not much to talk about. So we have 4 topics this week. We have a lot less quick hits this week. Only 2 pages full of quick hits. Then we have a flashback from last week about my Super Bowl prediction. That's a new segment we might start doing occasionally called Flashback. After that, we will have top 10 free agents set to be free agents this offseason in March. Then we have highlights and lowlights. We have 4 this week to get to. And then we have 1 question of the week. This is Deacon's NFL Talk. Alright, everybody, we're going to jump right into this. So we're going to start off with the first one, as always. I got a little bit into this last week, but the Steelers are unlikely to re-sign Russell Wilson. So this is big news right here. I don't know if this is the thing that the Steelers are looking to do. We'll see, because they said that it'll be either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields who they will decide to keep. I feel like Justin Fields is the way to go, mainly because he's younger, and I just feel like he'd be better for the Steelers. I mean, this comes after Wilson and Pittsburgh's offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, and their relationship was headed in the wrong direction. I guess some say that Smith took Wilson's ability away to call audibles. But I guess this website called DK Pittsburgh Sports says otherwise. So I don't really have much info on that part of it. I just know that they weren't really getting along. So anytime you have an offensive coordinator and a quarterback not getting along, it's never a good sign. It's never going to work out. So, I mean, if I had to choose between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, like I just said, I would choose Justin Fields any day. Like I said, Fields is younger. He's a younger talent. And Wilson, he is getting older. I still think he has some football left in him. It just really depends on how much he has left. I think he has more than Aaron Rodgers. I will say that he has much more than what Aaron Rodgers has, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I guess I think the Steelers should go with Justin Fields. I feel like Justin Fields is the right direction to go in, but at the end of the day, we'll see what happens once free agency hits. I feel like we'll see by then. Anytime before March 10th or anytime before that, I feel like that's when we start figuring out who's staying, where, and everything. But that is all for that one. We're going to go on to the next one. The Saints hire offensive coordinator Kellen more days after the Super Bowl. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was just a couple days after the Super Bowl. So I guess the two sides couldn't contact or complete the hire until after the Super Bowl, because I'm pretty sure that the two agreed to the deal right before the Super Bowl, which I thought would be a little bit distracting for the Eagles, knowing that their offensive coordinator was going to leave them right after the game. But also it probably kind of fueled them. Like, okay, so our offensive coordinator is going to move on. Let's go win it for him. I feel like it was a little bit of both. I feel like it was mainly just for fuel, because obviously now we know who won the Super Bowl. So, but Moore spent the past 6 years as an offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, Rams, and Eagles. Honestly, I never thought he was that good, probably because I saw him on the Cowboys, and the Cowboys always choked in the playoffs. So now that I see him on the Eagles now, it's like, oh, he's actually pretty solid. I feel like the Saints have a good chance of turning around. They have a chance of being better than what they were last year for sure. I think they will be better. Dennis Allen didn't work out. I think Kellen Moore has a better chance to work out. But his offenses haven't pass first. Like, he's known for pass first offenses. But with Saquon obviously in the backfield, they're run heavy throughout the year. I mean, no surprise. Anytime you have a running back like Saquon Barkley in the backfield, you're gonna run the ball every single time. So, but that's all for that one. Second to last, the third one, the Jets released Aaron Rodgers after 2 seasons in a Jets uniform. This doesn't come by surprise. I feel like most people saw this coming. Um, like I said, I'm not really that surprised. I don't know. Question is, will he retire after during this offseason, or will he sign with a new team? I feel like there are some teams out there that could at least have his presence with the team. Maybe help some younger quarterbacks as well. But the Jets did hire Aaron Glenn as not offensive coordinator, as head coach about a month ago. So I mean, I feel like that's a good turning point for the Jets. Going Robert Saleh isn't a bad mind. He's not a bad defensive mind. I don't think. I guess you could argue that he was a bad coach, but I feel like he's better as an assistant, like defensive coordinator, than he is as the head man. So I mean, we kind of saw that with the Jets. The Jets really didn't have a successful season under Saleh. We'll see how Glenn turns this thing around and if he will. I mean, in Rodgers' first season with the Jets, he suffered a season-ending Achilles tear. But in his second season, he really just did not play good at all. Coming off the injury probably didn't help either. They went 5-12. Rodgers, I'm pretty sure, played every single game. But anytime you're over 40 and you dealt with an Achilles injury the year prior, it's going to be hard to come back. So, I mean, the fact that he's even playing still, for the moment at least, is kind of impressive. So, but Rodgers could either, like I said, retire or find a new home elsewhere. We will see what happens. I feel like he might find a new home. I feel like he's likely going to do that. He should retire, but I think he's going to find a new team somewhere. I don't know where that is, whether that's the Titans, Commanders, Steelers. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just saying the Commanders maybe just to kind of mentor Jane Daniels. I don't know. I don't. The Commanders a landing spot. I feel like I've heard that before. I could be wrong. But anyway, the fourth and final topic: the Philadelphia Eagles win Super Bowl LIX or 59, if you want to call it that, and crush the Chiefs' hopes of a three-peat. And when I say crush, I mean absolutely demolish them. Not even kidding. Like, the score looked a lot closer than what the game actually was. 40-22. It looks close, but if you watched the game at all, it was far from it. The Eagles went into halftime up 24-0 and extended their lead midway through the third, 34-0, which was the largest deficit in the game. The Chiefs scored a pair of touchdowns in the end, both by Xavier Worthy. I believe D-Hop caught one. But here's a crazy stat. The Eagles had more points in the first half, 24, than the Eagles had than the Chiefs had yards with 23. That's just like pure dominance. Like, it does not get any more dominant than that. It was just a full-on beatdown. Like, once the Eagles threw that touchdown pass to Devontae Smith, I was like, yeah, this game's over. This game is over. The Eagles did what nobody else could in the postseason. Now the three only quarterbacks to ever beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs are Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts, dude. Jalen Hurts has a really cool story. I really like what he went through with Alabama, going from a really good quarterback to being benched, and then being benched throughout the entire season, and then getting his chance in the playoffs again. It's a really cool story. But on the defensive side of the ball, Philadelphia sacked Mahomes 6 times, which is the most in his career, and the Eagles didn't even blitz once the entirety of the game. I thought that was absolutely insane. I mean, this Eagles team, obviously, since they won the Super Bowl, they're the best team in the league, but I feel like the Eagles have the best defense in the league. You could make an argument for the Steelers, but the Eagles sacked Mahomes 6 times. They didn't blitz once. And the Eagles beat the Chiefs in the biggest game of the year, whereas the Steelers got smoked by the Chiefs in a regular season game on Christmas Day. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like the Eagles have the best defense in the league right now. But anyway, that is all of the NFL news. Quick hits. Okay, like I said, we're starting to something new. We're going to start doing a timer now. So we're going to start doing that if I can find it here. I'll see if I can find it. I don't know where it went, but we have a lot less than we had last week. obviously. With the Super Bowl coming up, there was going to be a lot. But here we go. We're going to start quick hits very, very soon. All right, so we have 2 pages, I believe, and that's about it, I think. So we are going to start. Hold on, let me pull it up one last. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. All right. Steelers may try to bring back Najee Harris. All right, last offseason, the Steelers declined Harris's 5th-year option. Harris has rushed for 1,000 yards every year since his rookie season, and he has also not missed a game his entire 4-year career. And according to the Post-Gazette, the Steelers would likely pay him around $7 to $10 million annually. Tyreek Hill makes public apology following his "I'm out" comments once to stay in Miami. Hill took himself out of the team's Week 18 loss of frustration, which McDaniel said was unacceptable. Former NFL coach Dick Jauron dies at 74. Jauron coached both the Bears and Bills, his best season coming in 2001 when Chicago went 13-3 and won Coach of the Year. Jauron played defensive back from 1973 to 1980, playing for the Lions and Bengals. His entire career, he generated 25 interceptions, 15 fumble recoveries, and 4 sacks. He finished his coaching career with a combined record of 16-82. Cowboys hiring Ken Dorsey as pass game specialist. Dorsey, who was offensive coordinator for the Bills and Browns, does not have his old job back because Clayton Adams has filled the position. Dolphins hire ex-Texans offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick as the senior pass game coordinator. Houston fired Slowick after losing to Kansas City in the playoffs. The Texans made the decision after the offense regressed a ton in 2024 compared to 2023. Last one, Bengals linebacker Jermaine Pratt requests a trade. If Cincinnati trades him, the Colts would be a good fit after Indianapolis hired former Bengals defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo. Pratt finished with 2024 with 143 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and 20 missed tackles. Time is up. We finished with about 18 seconds left. Pretty good. That's better than last week. Last week, time expired. If you guys couldn't tell, I have a cold currently, so I wanted to get through this week and try to do it. If my voice sounds different, it kind of does. I can just kind of tell it. Let me check if there's any more NFL news. Eagles general manager gets hit with a beer can at Super Bowl parade. Saquon Barkley gifts a truckload of beer to his entire offensive line. The picture I'm seeing has 5 semi-trucks, and they're Bud Light ones, so I mean that's a lot of beer. Let's see. Eagles, Brandon Graham does not know about his future yet, so we'll see how that is. Anything else? Oh, the Dolphins released Raheem Mostert. That's new. That's crazy. I did not see that. Let me see. Is there any more? Ex-Saints interim coach Darren Rizzi is joining the Broncos as special teams coordinator. And that's about it. That's really about it. That's all I see. So, we're going to go on to, what is it? I can't remember. Flashback. So, here's a flashback of last week when I said who was going to win the Super Bowl. It really didn't age well, but I'm glad it went wrong. So, here is the clip of what I said last week. But my prediction for the Super Bowl, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs to three-peat, be the first NFL team to ever do that. I don't want it to happen, but just face reality. First off, they have the refs, and second, they have Patrick Mahomes, and third, they have Andy Reid and the outstanding coaching staff. I'm sorry. I don't want it to happen either, but it's just going to happen, okay? If Saquon gets stuffed the whole game, and Jalen Hurts, he doesn't have a good passing game. Even if they have good, even if the Eagles beat them in the stat line, they're still gonna find ways to win. Anyway. As you can tell, I was way wrong about that. But yeah, I mean, I thought the Chiefs were definitely gonna three-peat. I thought all hope was lost, and I just totally thought that's the way it was gonna be. But we're gonna go to top 10. All right. So to start off, this week we have top 10 NFL free agents or set to be free agents in March. Pull up the list right here. Here is my top 10 right now. We're going to go we're gonna go from 10 to 1. So at number 10, as you can see, Stephon Diggs at number 10. I feel like there's some guys that could be in his spot, but I feel like Stephon Diggs will have more value than some of the other guys like Javon Holland, DJ Reed. They could make the argument to be top 10. I feel like Stephon Diggs will. I mean, this is not saying this list. Might as well get that out here, but this list is not like guaranteed free agents. This is a list of free agents that will be free agents if the team does not re-sign them before free agency starts, which I'm not sure what that is. It might be March 13th. But at number 10, we have Stephon Diggs. At number 9, we have Najee Harris. I feel like this is one of the more underrated ones. I feel like Najee Harris, since he's younger and he hasn't missed a season without rushing for 1,000 yards since his rookie year. So I feel like that gives you a much more value than what is Stephon Diggs, who's a lot older than him. I wouldn't say a lot, but who is older than him. And I don't know. He's coming off ACL tear, I believe. So I feel like Najee gets a nod to be just a little bit above him. But at number 8, we have Josh Sweat. So this is debatable between Najee and Josh, but I feel like Josh Sweat leading the Eagles with 8 sacks in the regular season and adding 2.5 more in the Super Bowl and potentially had a chance to be Super Bowl MVP. I feel like he ended on a good note, and Josh Sweat has more value than what Najee Harris would. But at number 7, I had Ronnie Stanley. The question mark, I feel like he could be higher, but the question mark is if he can stay healthy. He proved that he could this year, but we need to see it again. He's one of the better offensive tackles in the league if he can remain healthy. But that's really the biggest question mark about him. Number 6, this might come as a surprise. I've seen some people put Khalil Mack somewhere in this range, but Khalil Mack at number 6, though he's old, he still is dynamic off the edge or wherever you want to put him, I guess. But he's 34, likely not returning with the Chargers, I believe. So he'll find a new home elsewhere, whoever that is. Nobody really knows yet. At number 5, we have Zach Bond coming off the Super Bowl. We have actually three players in this list that made the Super Bowl. Trey Smith, Zach Bond, and Josh Sweat. Zach Bond had that interception in the Super Bowl. But, I mean, coming out of nowhere on Philadelphia on a one-year deal and then playing as good as he did definitely gives them the boost to go into the top 5. At number 4, Chris Godwin, coming off a bad ankle injury, which I feel like he could be higher if he didn't have that injury. But, I mean, anytime you're a receiver like him that's really good in the league, you're going to be, like, top 5, no doubt. At number 3, we have Trey Smith. I'm pretty sure he's offensive tackle or offensive guard. I know he's on the line somewhere. Really good offensive lineman. One of the top free agents in the that's set to be in the league. So obviously he's my number 3. But yeah, at number 2, Sam Darnold. He's coming off a really great season that he kind of had out of nowhere. No one really saw him coming out of nowhere playing as good as what he did. And then obviously leading to his team to the playoffs, ultimately losing to the Rams. But then at number 1, we had T. Higgins, and this is something as a Bengals fan that you just don't want to happen. I don't want to lose T, but unfortunately, that's probably what will happen. The Patriots, I feel like are a favorite right now. I've heard the Steelers are linked to him right now, but we'll see what happens. That is top 10. We got through it quickly because we still have highlights and lowlights and question of the week. But that is my top 10 for this week. Let's go to highlights and lowlights. Let's start off the week with a great one, and that is Taylor Swift booed at the start of the Super Bowl. Hold on. I think we have actually. I forgot to get this out, but this was supposed to be in quick hits. We won't count the timer, but the last 2 we had Kadarius Toney charged after assaulting a woman. Toney used enough force to prevent the woman from breathing, and he also prevented her from calling for help by taking her phone, which was crazy. And then Tyreek Hill and Noah Lyles are going to race in 2025, which is what we all need to see. The 2 plan to race before Lyles competes at the U.S. Championships in July. And the race will likely be anywhere from 40 yards to 100 meters, according to Hill and Lyles. I believe Tyreek Hill wanted 40 yards, and then Noah Lyles wanted 100 meters. So they said they'll probably agree anywhere in between that. But anyway, this is Taylor Swift getting booed before the Super Bowl. This is crazy. I'm pretty sure if you guys know how to lip read, But I'm pretty sure some people came out and said, like she said, what is happening or what is going on. See if you can notice any of those things. What she says. I'll play it right here. Just like, it's like crazy, like how much people hate her. But you could just see like the way she gave the camera the look. She was like, what is going on? It was so funny. Like this, I didn't watch it happen. I mean, obviously, the Super Bowl didn't start then, and they didn't show that on the live. But let's go to this next one. This next one is about the Super Bowl scoreboard. Am I the only one that thinks this actually sucks? Pull up this picture right here. This actually looks horrible. I'm not gonna lie. The at the kickoff, the scoreboard popped up, and that's the first thing I noticed when the game started. I was like, this scoreboard is funky looking. I've seen a few people say bad things about it, but am I the only other one that doesn't like this? I feel like as the game went on, it didn't get as bad, but looking at it again, it's just like I don't like it at all. I mean, the transparency isn't bad, but I don't know what it is about it. I don't know what it is, but it's just not likable for whatever reason. I really don't like it that much. Let's go to the next one. Cooper DeJean's pick 6 on his birthday. One of the greatest Super Bowl moments in NFL history, I believe. That's what someone said. But here it is. 3rd and 16. Mahomes steps back on the run, looking, throwing, and Cooper DeJean picks it. Mahomes said he was trying to window throw it. That's the definition of doing too much. And DeJean takes it to the house. Pick 6. After this happened, the Eagles were feeling it after this happened. Like all the momentum was already on the Eagles' side. And then this happens. And it's like, oh, this is like the Eagles pretty much dominated from here on out. They dominated before that, to be honest. But like, what a play by Cooper DeJean. That was awesome. I guess Cooper DeJean and Saquon Barkley had the same birthday on that day, so that was pretty cool. It was cool to see Cooper DeJean get that pick 6. I really like that. But here it is. I'm gonna play DeAndre Hopkins commenting about the referees after the Super Bowl. I'm gonna have to talk about this after this is over. Play it right here.
You know, I saw a lot of things in the media about the refs, but obviously, what y'all gonna say now about the refs and us when there was a lot of touchy calls? Are y'all gonna report that? Are y'all gonna talk about the refs now?
Isn't that just crazy? This guy is on the Chiefs, and might I add, you get favored every single week of the regular season, and now we're complaining about the refs in the Super Bowl after losing. You just look like a really bad person now. You look like a sore loser, and I don't understand. The Eagles had more penalties than the Chiefs did the whole game. The Chiefs had more yards, but if we think like it was 40-22, I'm sure referees play a big role in a blowout loss. I'm sure they play such a big role in that kind of game. Grow up, cry about it. Okay, I don't want to hear you complain anymore. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, you got beat up fair and square. Okay, the really only penalty that the Chiefs had the Eagles had. I cannot talk. The only penalty the Eagles really had that was kind of questionable was the offensive pass interference that A.J. Brown was called for. That was not pass interference. I mean, the dude literally tripped. But, I mean, yeah, the Chiefs got penalized a lot the whole game. But you still got blown out. Like, if you get blown out and you come out and say this, you look really bad, dude. You look really bad. No one likes you anymore. No one likes you anymore. Everyone looks at you as a sore loser. I don't want to hear it. Anyway, before we go to question of the week, we have the quiz. This week was huge for me. This is the first week in Deacon's NFL Talk history that I've posted a quiz that was not a trick quiz and that I beat you all in. I finally did it. I didn't have to do a trick quiz. The answer is 5. The majority of you guessed 4. This is insane. I finally did it. I can finally feel victorious. The question was, how many NFL teams have bird mascots? 4, 6, 5, or 8. The correct answer was 5. 6 was 15%, 8 was 19%, 5 was 23%, and 4 was 42%. I can see how 4 makes sense. But yeah, someone commented and said that he forgot about the Ravens. But dude, I finally beat you all. I finally did it, and I feel so good after that. That feels amazing, dude. I'm actually excited about that. But anyway, we're gonna go to the question of the week because it's getting dark in here. Yeah. By the way, sorry about doing this a little bit later. Fortunately, I just didn't get it out at 3 o'clock, but still able to do it. But anyway, question of the week was, will Travis Kelce retire this offseason? Here's the poll right here. 63% of you said yes. 37% of you said no. I agree with the 63% that said yes. I did see that the Chiefs are giving Kelce a deadline to make the decision on whether he will retire or stay in the league. The deadline is March 14th. I guess Travis Kelce said on his New Heights podcast that he plans to know by March 14th. So that's pretty much exactly a month. I mean, yesterday was the 14th, Valentine's Day, but I mean, it's technically a month. But I would say for me, he's going to retire. Like I just said, I feel like if you watched him at all this year, he's starting to wear down. He really isn't as explosive as what he was a year ago or 2 years ago. At some point, it's honestly, for me, it's kind of bittersweet, like, I feel like when people, like, as good as what Travis Kelce is, retire, it's like, I hated this guy so much, but now he's gone. It's like, it's going to feel weird. Patrick Mahomes without Travis Kelce, even if he doesn't retire this year, he'll retire before Mahomes does, in my opinion. But if he does retire, that's going to look weird. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't have Travis Kelce, that's going to look really weird. But anyway, that is the episode for this week. Sorry I didn't get it out at 3 o'clock. And sorry about my cold, if it was annoying. But it was a good one. It was a lot shorter than last week, so I'll tell you that. I mean, I didn't realize how short it was. Seriously, we're going on 14 minutes. This is the shortest episode that we've probably had in a long time. And next week, we might start doing signings and cuts. We'll either start that next week or start doing that in March. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, like I said last week, we're working on getting new segments in here. So hopefully those new segments will kind of fill up and make the episodes longer instead of having some that are 15 minutes long. Hopefully this one was enjoyable because I feel like the longer ones don't get as much viewers. But hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Let me know in the comments if you guys are actually enjoying the episodes. Like I said, I'm starting to get new segments in. I'm trying to make them a lot more fun than what they were. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying them. If you enjoyed this week, check out last week's episode where I dove into the Super Bowl. I did a Super Bowl preview last week. It's 45 minutes, but it's worth it. It was a really good one. And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like, the subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified of every single upload the channel makes. And I'll see you guys next week for another great episode on Deacon's NFL Talk.